A historic partnership tested Canada-US trade through time. Canada and the US, two neighbors deeply intertwined. Our economies are like peanut butter and jelly. Okay, maybe more like maple syrup and more maple syrup. We're talking billions of dollars in trade every single day. Cars, lumber, energy, you name it, we probably swap it. This isn't new. We've had free trade agreements for decades. NAFTA, now the USMCA, kept things humming. Sure, we've had our spats. Remember the softwood lumber dispute? Yeah, good times. But generally, we've played nice in the economic sandbox. Until recently, that is. The last few years have been tense. The word tariff is thrown around like confetti at a bad wedding, and nobody's celebrating. The current trade skirmishes, however, represent a marked departure from the norm. The Trump administration, with its America First agenda, has taken aim at Canada, among others. The goal? To reduce the trade deficit and bring back manufacturing jobs to the US. But at what cost? Trump's tariff offensive, a timeline of trade tensions. Let's rewind to 2018. Trump slaps tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. His reasoning? National security. Yes, apparently, Canadian metal is a bigger threat than, say, a rogue Roomba. Canada, understandably miffed, retaliates. We're talking tariffs on American goods like ketchup, bourbon, and playing cards. Because, nothing says take that like a tax on Jack Daniels and poker. Fast forward to April 2nd, 2025. Trump, in a move that surprised absolutely no one, imposes a new round of tariffs on a whole bunch of Canadian goods. This time, he calls it reciprocal, because, nothing says fair trade like escalating a trade war. These tariffs aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They have real-world consequences. Canadian businesses are feeling the pinch. Consumers are facing higher prices. And the uncertainty is enough to make anyone nervous, except maybe economists who love a good crisis to study. Canada bites back, retaliation, and the electricity war. Now, Canada isn't just going to take this lying down, eh? We're polite, not pushovers. The federal government, led by Prime Minister Mark Carney, has responded strategically. They've imposed their own retaliatory tariffs, targeting key American industries. And they've been busy building alliances with other countries because nothing says we've got your back like a united front against protectionism. But the real fireworks have been happening at the provincial level. Enter Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, known for his, shall we say, unconventional approach to politics. Ford, a self-proclaimed Trump admirer, has taken a page from the Donald's playbook. He slapped a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to 3 US states. That's right, folks, a trade war within a trade war. The move has been met with mixed reactions. Some applaud Ford's boldness, seeing it as a necessary counterpunch. Others worry about potential blowback, both economic and political. One thing's for sure, things just got a whole lot more interesting. Section 4. Ford and Carney, two leaders, two approaches to the crisis. Mark Carney, the former head of the Bank of England and now Prime Minister of Canada, is a picture of calm amidst the storm. He's taken a measured approach, emphasizing diplomacy and international cooperation. Think of him as the level-headed dad trying to reason with the unruly teenager next door. Doug Ford, on the other hand, is more like the uncle who shows up to a family barbecue with fireworks and a karaoke machine. He's loud, he's brash, and he's not afraid to ruffle a few feathers. His response to the tariffs has been swift and aggressive, even if some question its long-term effectiveness. Both leaders are facing immense pressure to protect their constituents and their economies, but their contrasting styles highlight the delicate balancing act Canada faces, standing up for its interests without further inflaming the situation. Section 5. Economic and political fallout, navigating the uncertain terrain. The economic consequences of this trade spat are already being felt. Canadian businesses, particularly those in the steel, aluminum, and agriculture sectors, are facing higher costs and lost markets. Consumers are seeing prices rise on everything from groceries to cars, and the uncertainty is dampening investment and economic growth. Politically, the tariffs have strained the historically close relationship between Canada and the US. Canadians are feeling betrayed and bewildered by their southern neighbors' actions. And the issue has become a political football, with both sides accusing the other of bad faith. The situation is fluid, with new developments emerging almost daily. It remains to be seen whether cooler heads will prevail or whether this trade war will escalate further. One thing is certain, the stakes are high, not just for Canada and the US, but for the global trading system as a whole. Section 6. The Global Trade Order in Flux. A harbinger of things to come? The Canada-US trade war is just one symptom of a larger trend, the unraveling of the global trade order. The rules-based system that has governed international commerce for decades is under attack. Protectionism is on the rise, fueled by nationalist sentiment and a backlash against globalization. This shift has profound implications. It threatens to disrupt global supply chains, increase costs for businesses and consumers, and stifle economic growth. It also undermines international cooperation and raises the specter of trade wars, which, as history teaches us, rarely have any winners. Section 7. A trade war on our doorstep. What's at stake for Canada? For Canada, a country that relies heavily on trade, the stakes couldn't be higher. The US is our largest trading partner by far. Our economies are deeply integrated. A full-blown trade war would be devastating for both sides, but Canada, with its smaller and more open economy, would likely suffer disproportionately. The current trade dispute is a test of our resilience, our ingenuity, and our resolve. It's a time for cool heads, strategic thinking, and a commitment to finding solutions that work for both countries. Because at the end of the day, we're neighbors, we're allies, and we're better off working together than fighting each other.